With the 5th selection in the first round of the 2010 first-year draft, the Cleveland Indians select Drew Pomeranz, a left-handed pitcher from the University of Mississippi.
You're cleared for takeoff. Columbia, this is Houston. Go ahead,
Good evening and welcome in to Indians Minor League Magazine. I'm Al Pulowski. Jason Stanford is off this week. Craig Dees, the voice of the Lake County Captains, is in to replace him. And Craig, we got a lot to talk about here today.
Big show this week, and I really appreciate the opportunity to sit in here for Jason.
Absolutely. It is a big show indeed. The Indians taking their first pick. We just saw that with Bug Seelig and Drew Pomeranz. We'll talk more about him in a moment. We'll go around the minors today to check out all the Tribe's farm teams as we always do. Then Captains GM Brad Seymour will join us on set. Later, Scott Leo talks with Clippers starter Josh Tomlin. Plus, meet this week's Diamond in the Rough, and you'll discover Nick Weglar's Major League Idol. Well, Craig, let's start with the first pick for the Indians, Drew Pomeranz, a 9-2 record, a 2.24 ERA for the Southeastern Conference, their pitcher of the year. A lot to get excited about for this guy who's got an outstanding 3-pitch mix, 2 pitches already a plus, and one that changeup to go with the fast and curve is coming along.
It's coming along, and he still struck out 139 guys in a little over 100 innings, only walked 49. A good, strong, big kid. I think he's a guy that could be in this rotation the next couple years if things pan out the way that they hope.
Well, Drew Pomeranz, one to watch, and Brad Grant will be with us next week to talk more about Drew and all of the Indians draft picks right here on Minor League Magazine. All right, let's take you around the minor league system now, starting in Columbus as we go down I-71. And a hitter that not too long ago was in Lake County, Jared Gettert, just moved up to Columbus, making the most of his promotion thus far. In his first 2 games, he's gone 4 for 8 with 3 doubles. And how's this for an OPS? 1.375.
Yeah, he's a kid that in 2007 for us hit 16 homers, 51 RBIs in less than half the year. Tried a little bit of an experiment moving him to second base, primarily back at third. Now it seems like he's settling back in, and now he's on the fast track again.
He sure is. Just tore it up in Akron, had that hitting streak that was over 20 games. Here's the Clippers notes for you. Besides Gettert, Carlos Santana still tearing it up. 11 homers already for Santana. Won't be long before we'll see him in Cleveland. And Johan Pino, it's the player the Indians got for Carl Pavano last year in that deal. He's looking pretty good right now.
He sure is, and that's what you want. If you're going to trade a guy like Pavano, you want something in return. It seems like he is another guy that is right on the edge.
Well, and as we head down now to Double-A Akron, we've talked about Pomeranz, who's just into the system, Alex White, who was taken last year, and now here's another player that was injected last year. Part of the Victor Martinez deal, Nick Hagedorn has been very impressive since moving up from Kinston. The lefty went 5 innings on Sunday against Harrisburg. He gave up 4 hits, struck out 7, and walked just 1 in the Arrows win. Another guy, Craig, that you've seen in Lake County.
Yeah, last year was popping the gun in the mid-90s after that Tommy John surgery back in 2008. A guy that they really thought would have been in the big leagues last year had it not been for that surgery. So, I mean, you talk about White and Pomeranz, and now you've got Hagen, and that could be 3 of your starters in the next couple of years.
Yeah, really exciting. All 3 of those players we just mentioned are front of the rotation prospects. A couple other guys besides Hagedorn to keep a lookout for. Chisenhall back after that injury, doing great. And Paulo Espino doing a nice job as the pitcher.
Paulo Espino's a guy that's got a plus fastball, and he's also got what I call the hammer. He's got that big 12-6 curveball that when it's on, he is devastating. It's great to see the fact that he is moving up the system as well.
So some players very exciting with their development, and it only continues when we go down to Kinston at the Class A level. At the very beginning of this year, on the first show, I told you Jason Kipnis is somebody that's really been impressive to me, and he just continues to tear through it for the K-Tribe. He started off June by hitting .313 in his first 5 games.
Well, the knock on the Indians the last couple of years is high draft picks aren't panning out. Well, here's a kid that they got pretty high last year who is actually living up to that potential and, again, moving through the system.
And he was an outfielder in college. They moved him to second base. So far, that conversion is going pretty well. Abner Abreu putting up some numbers this year as far as the RBIs go. And Corey Burns, the closer. This kid coming a little bit out of nowhere, I'd say, but he's having a great year for Kinston, and you know him from the Captain.
14 saves for us. He still leads the league in saves in the Midwest League, and a guy that looks a lot like El Tiante. He turns his back totally to home plate when he throws that delivery, an offbeat delivery, but all he does is get people out.
All right, let's head down to Lake County now, where the man next to me knows a lot about this team. And in fact, he got to see one of the major leaguers this past weekend. Andy Marte was on a rehab assignment, did pretty well for Lake County. He went 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored and a walk for the Captains in their 8-4 win over Wisconsin. And nice to see when you can get a big leaguer coming down for a rehab assignment.
Oh, it's great, and the fans love it, and he was terrific with the fans at our ballpark, accommodating folks with autographs. But more importantly, you know, I watched him work out for 3 days running and fielding, and obviously he was good enough to be activated again. And it was just great to see him around, and the kids got a really nice buffet steak and shrimp dinner out of the deal, too, after the one ball.
Always, if you're a major leaguer, you got to help the kids out, and of course, Andy did it. Here's some other guys to watch for. A couple of these guys hitting-wise, I mean, Bo Greenwell has done outstanding this year, and this Chun Chen is just tearing the cover off the ball.
He's been unbelievable, and he has done a nice job behind the plate as our second catcher. And Chun Chen, a guy that has opened a lot of eyes this year. He's a guy that wants to learn. He's very receptive to that, and it's shown.
Well, the All-Stars have been announced as well for the Midwest League, and well, the captain's well represented.
Yeah, Bo Greenwell and Chun Chen. We talked, and Roberto Perez is the other catcher, and Nick Serenity is one of our relief pitchers, and Trey Haley, a high-round pick of a few years ago that has really matured in this past season and has worked himself right into an all-star start. So it's good for him. I mean, he's a kid that's really worked hard to get there.
Yeah, so once again, there's some definite prospects that are making great progress at every level of the Indians minor league system. All right, we'll take our first break here with the Indians Minor League Magazine. When we come back, we'll go once again back to East Lake, talk a little more Lake County Captains with the general manager, Brad Seymour. He'll be with us on set. Make sure you stay right here with Indians Minor League Magazine.
Beautiful. 26, 36 feet.
I got through that.